What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, December 29th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 23:20 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Asia. So apparently in India, the number of people being hospitalized and sent to intensive care units for walking pneumonia has skyrocketed. We're hearing that various hospitals across India are being overcrowded with people seeking treatment for walking pneumonia and some kind of a flu. Now, normally this type of walking pneumonia is treated in outpatient clinics, but for some reason, people are now seeking intensive care. So this is very, very serious. And what you're looking at here is some fresh video footage coming out of China showing a hospital overcrowded with sick people. Okay, so something is going on in Asia. We have to keep an eye on it. We know that the H5N1 bird flu is starting to spread in North America. More people are contracting it. More animals are getting sick and dying from it. So we have to be on high alert. We also have some very concerning news coming out of Russia. So apparently Russia planned to attack Finland, the Baltics, and Norway as far back as in 2017. And apparently this plan to attack Finland, Baltics, and Norway will be implemented after the war in Ukraine ends, according to NATO sources. And this was reported by the Finnish newspaper Iltalehti. Okay, so Russia has some kind of an attack plan for Finland, the Baltics, and Norway. They created it in 2017. Very, very serious, guys. Also, we're hearing that Sweden is now looking for mass burial locations in the event of some kind of a war with Russia. And we're hearing that Ukraine purchased its first liquid natural gas contract with the United States. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is EMP Shield. Guys, I'm proud to announce that I'm going to be partnering with EMP Shield. They have just given me a special discount code just for my subscribers. If you go to empshield.com and use the code NYPrepper when you check out, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Good for anything on their website. They're also doing a Cyber Monday sale. Guys, the threat of an EMP has never been higher, and you need to protect your vehicle and critical electronics. The EMP Shield is a device that protects your vehicle's computer or electronics by installing in line with the electrical system. The EMP Shield has passed rigorous military testing and is compliant with several military standards. They're also IP66 weatherproof and made in the USA. They can be used to protect your ham radio base stations, your RV, your camper, your solar generator, and various other things in addition to your vehicle. So go to empshield.com, use the discount code NYPrepper to get 15% off, and the link and the discount code are in the description below this video. And we have an update on that undersea cable that was cut by Russia in the Baltic Sea. This was actually an electrical cable, and now there's only one electrical cable connecting Finland to Estonia. So this is clearly an attempt by Russia to isolate Estonia and the Baltics from the rest of Europe, okay, cutting their internet cables, cutting their communications cables, now cutting their electrical cables. Finnish police said on Sunday they had found tracks that drag on for dozens of kilometers along the bottom of the Baltic Sea, where a tanker carrying Russian oil is suspected of breaking a power line and 4 telecom cables with its anchor. A break in the 658 megawatt Estlink 2 power cable between Finland and Estonia occurred at midday on Wednesday, leaving only 358 megawatt Estlink 1 linking the two countries, grid operators said. They said Estlink 2 might not be back in service before August. Finnish police suspect the Eagle S oil tanker caused the damage by dragging its anchor along the seabed. Investigators have identified a dragging track but have yet to find a missing anchor. Sami Pala, the tactical leader and detective chief inspector of Finland's National Bureau of Investigation, said in a statement. The track is dozens of kilometers in length, Pala said. Photos of the Eagle S on Friday showed the vessel missing its port side anchor. Okay, so drag marks on the bottom of the Baltic Sea stretching for dozens of kilometers. And what's interesting is that the mainstream media is not talking about this. This is very serious, guys. There's literally only one cable connecting Finland to Estonia now. And shortly before Russia invades the Baltics, all they have to do is cut that one last cable, and that's it, okay? So this is clearly a preparation for war, preparation for an invasion by Russia, okay? And what's interesting is the mainstream media here in the West didn't mention that 4 other cables were taken out at the same time. So the Estlink 2 electrical cable was taken out, and then 4 other cables, okay, mostly communications cables, were taken out as well. And Zelensky said today that apparently tomorrow the U.S. will announce something major to help Ukraine protect itself for years to come. Very interesting. We know that the U.S. is supposed to announce a $1.25 billion aid package this coming week, so that could be pretty interesting. And the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov dismissed a peace plan put forward by Donald Trump's administration, which proposed postponing Ukraine's NATO membership for 20 years and sending European peacekeeping forces to oversee a demilitarized zone. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. Russia does not want to have any kind of ceasefire agreement. They don't want to have anything like that, okay? They want the U.S. to basically accept the territory they've taken, and they want Ukraine to have limits on their military. So we'll see what happens, but it's not looking too good. It looks like Russia has rejected Trump's initial peace plan for Ukraine, okay? And this peacekeeping force from NATO that was going to be deployed to this DMZ was going to consist of multiple countries with 50,000 total soldiers to be deployed. Okay, Poland was one of the countries that was going to deploy up to 10,000 troops to that DMZ. And this week, senior Russian officials visited Washington and New York for some reason. My guess is to discuss peace plans. And Russia will end its moratorium on deploying intermediate and short-range nuclear-capable missiles, citing U.S. deployment of similar weapons globally, according to Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. This move dismantles the remnants of the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, a 1987 pact to reduce nuclear arsenals and eliminate missiles with ranges between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. Lavrov said there are no conditions for strategic dialogue with the U.S., raising fears of a renewed nuclear arms race with Russia, the U.S., and China. The INF treaty ended in 2019 after U.S. accusations of Russian violations, which Moscow denied. Lavrov announced Russia's self-moratorium is no longer viable due to U.S. actions. Okay, so Trump was the one that scrapped the INF treaty, and it had to do with multiple different types of missiles that Russia was developing and deploying, including the Oreshnik missile. That was one of the missiles that caused Trump to end the INF treaty. And then there was also the SSC-8 screwdriver, which is a ground-launched cruise missile that has a range of up to 2,000 miles, which was reportedly deployed in Belarus, and that would give Russia a nuclear-tipped cruise missile that can reach anywhere in Europe. And the Russian FSB has prevented terrorist attacks planned by Ukrainian special services against a high-ranking Russian military officer and a blogger covering the war in Ukraine, according to a Russian media report. So very interesting. And Putin apologized for the plane crash in southern Russia, in the Caucasus region, in Chechnya, the Azerbaijani Airlines crash where over 100 people were killed. He said that Russian air defenses were responding to a Ukrainian drone attack and accidentally shot down the airline. And the president of Azerbaijan refused to accept the apology issued by Putin, where apparently Putin attempted to skirt around accepting responsibility for the incident. And the president of Azerbaijan refused to accept the apology put forth by Putin, accusing Russia of not accepting responsibility and attempting to cover up the incident. Wow. And Azerbaijan has reduced the period that Russian citizens can stay in Azerbaijan from 180 days to 90 days. Wow. So this is very, very bad for Russia. Relations with Azerbaijan have now soured, and Russia is losing control of the Caucasus region. They've lost control of Armenia. They've lost control of Syria, and they may lose control of Georgia soon. And now they have this issue with Azerbaijan. And the U.S. and NATO believe that Ukraine could have chosen better targets to hit with the ATACMS missiles, which the Ukrainian military is allegedly running out of. The New York Times has reported, citing unnamed U.S. and NATO officials. Okay, so the U.S. and NATO not happy with the targets that Ukraine hit with the ATACMS. Maybe they wanted Ukraine to hit Putin's bunker or some higher value targets rather than just oil depots and some North Korean officers and some airfields, which is basically all they've hit so far. And the Slovakian defense minister urged Ukraine to consider territorial concessions to Russia to end the war immediately. And North Korea announced its toughest counteraction strategy towards the U.S. at a key Communist Party meeting of North Korea. Leader Kim Jong-un accused U.S. military cooperation with South Korea and Japan of forming an aggressive nuclear military bloc. Kim ordered enhanced military capabilities to meet evolving warfare demands. And several checkpoints have reportedly been established around the Khmeimim air base in the Latakia region of western Syria by forces under the Syrian transitional government, with the checkpoints expected to prevent the transfer of Russian and Syrian army remnants to and from the base. So this new Syrian government is actually very anti-Iran, very anti-Russian. They've already threatened Iran and warned Iran not to meddle in Syria's internal affairs. They've forced Iranian diplomats to fly around Syria several times. So we'll have to see what happens. But so far it looks like this new Syrian government is very anti-Iran, anti-Russia, pro-West. And South Korean investigators announced they have filed an arrest warrant for suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol with the Seoul Western District Court. The move follows Yoon's failure to appear for questioning over his controversial declaration of martial law. Okay, so things in South Korea continuing to escalate. An official arrest warrant has been issued for the president there, and he has refused to show up for questioning. So this whole situation there could escalate if they try to actually arrest him, and his supporters may, go out into the streets, and it could be a big problem. And Greenland was hit with a mysterious power outage just days after Trump said he wanted to buy Greenland. Very interesting. And Mikhail Kavalashvili, a critic of the West, was sworn in as Georgia's president amid protests over the government's decision to freeze EU application talks. Outgoing pro-EU President Salom Zurabichvili rejected Kavalashvili's legitimacy, citing alleged fraud in the October parliamentary election that elected him. She left the presidential palace declaring she carried the people's trust. The ruling Georgian Dream Party insists the election was fair, while opposition parties support Zurabichvili. Kavalashvili is aligned with ex-Prime Minister Bidzina Ivanishvili, accused by the U.S. of pushing Georgia towards a pro-Russian stance, marking a pivotal moment for the country. Okay, so a pro-Russian president is now in control of the Republic of Georgia, okay? So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but there could be an uprising in Georgia, which could cause chaos for Russia. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. I do have the 24/7 live stream on right now, so you can tune in for the latest updates over there. And until tomorrow, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.